Good evening. Welcome to Psychic Paranormal Live. I am Lenny, and I have in the description what range of topics I discuss. So I'm going to get going because I probably will release this live. It's a Gemini moon right now. So Gemini moon is about communication. We may be feeling extra chatty, a little more social. We want to talk to people. We want to talk about a lot of different things at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? I'm on New York time. The moon moves into Cancer. So what does that mean? Then as we get into Thursday, Friday, Cancer moon likes to nest, likes to take it slow, do something for yourself, something cozy at home, a relaxing activity, something in the home if you like to cook, watch a movie, but really nurture yourself. That's the energy of Cancer moon, Thursday and Friday. And then by Saturday, we move into a Leo moon. So for the weekend, that's good to be social. I have a paranormal investigation Saturday evening at the Marl Pit and Taylor Butler houses in Middletown, New Jersey. There's a special alignment of 6 planets on the 28th. So that's a good sign for the investigation. We do have a big eclipse on Tuesday, Pisces, Virgo. This is definitely one to study the course, just watch the day. It's not necessarily I've picked up anything auspicious, but I have other people in the spiritual community warning me about the 3rd. So that's a full moon eclipse. Pisces, Virgo people, this particularly applies to you. If you have planets in Virgo, sun, moon, rising, this eclipse full moon Tuesday applies to you. If you have sun, moon, rising, Pisces, this full moon eclipse applies to you. And not that it doesn't apply to everyone else, but you really want to watch Monday to Tuesday. I know with my filming, I changed around the schedule because I didn't think it was a good idea right around a full moon eclipse to film at a psychiatric hospital. I thought that's a not good idea. So I moved the schedule around. Good evening. If you're signing on, this is Psychic Paranormal Astrology Live. I'm Eleni. If it's your first time tuning in, good evening. You can let me know where you are from. Also tomorrow, with the moon moving into Cancer, we move into Mercury retrograde. And I've briefly touched upon this in the other lives. So Mercury, which is the thinking planet, the communication planet, is in Pisces. Mercury in Pisces is sensitive. It's intuitive. It's artistic. It's about feeling feelings and connecting telepathically with people on a feeling level. Mercury in Pisces from an astrology perspective. Kenosha, Wisconsin. Okay, good. Okay, great. Hi, Zachary. Hi, Cooking Ortiz. Let me get Kenosha. I knew someone that was born in Kenosha, Wisconsin. So I have heard Kenosha, Wisconsin before. So Mercury's retrograde. So in the astrology community, what does that mean? You want to try to hold off signing anything. I know I made a split decision for where I'm staying somewhere in the spring. I made the split decision to book now as opposed to after March 20th. I got that in. You can still travel during a Mercury retrograde. I don't find that there are problems. This is not a time to decide to switch cell phones, TVs, electronics, computers. laptops, cars. Look, if something breaks down, we say this. You have to get it. During the last Mercury retrograde, the washer machine broke down in my house. Well, we had to get a new washer machine. It is what it is. And you could also say maybe that is Mercury retrograde. But the point with the Mercury retrograde that we're moving into now through March 20th, people can be confused in what you're saying, not hearing clearly, because the Mercury in Pisces retrograde can create a fog. Also, too, you want to make sure you're hearing clearly what people are saying to you. Because in astrology, well, obviously not you. So why don't you go pound salt? Sorry, that's my saucy mood. Anyway, so with Mercury retrograde, also too, it's a time to rethink things. And that's what too, if you know your time of birth with your astrology chart, you can see what house it falls in and what's the theme for you now through next month. Mercury is going to stay in Pisces through April. I'm starting off with the astrological weather tonight. That's saying this is how, I warm up, get started. If you have questions that are on topic to the themes that in the description I wrote, you can by all means write something relevant to the live. If you just like to listen, you can listen. So, and also with Tuesday, so we're going to have a Mercury retrograde, a full moon, eclipse. You really want to watch around those days, too. Plan something light in the evening. I would even say for Monday as well. Like I said, I changed my filming schedule because I didn't think it was a good idea to film right around a full moon eclipse at an active psychiatric hospital that sometimes the patients get out, from what I was told. So, Mercury retrograde is not a time to start a new relationship. Make your decision after the 20th. Also, too, people ask, what if I want to change jobs? Or, you want to change, I'm just saying, schools. If you're with the jobs, if you're okay with the job being temporary, then by all means go for it. But I have some clients that they want to make a job change and then that's it for the rest of their lives. So I advise them not to send out job applications during a Mercury retrograde, not to change jobs during a Mercury retrograde. Look, sometimes you have to take a job, you take it. But this is how in astrology, what we adhere to. We tread cautiously with what we sign, what we say, what new endeavors that we take on. A Mercury retrograde is a time to review, to reflect, and revise. Like picking up something you started a while ago. Well, a Mercury retrograde's good for that. You started an exercise routine, you didn't follow through. Now you upgrade and improve during the retrograde, because it's also a review of something in the past that maybe you didn't finish. And now with the retrograde, the light bulb goes on and you pick it back up. So it's not all, cautiousness. There are positives to it. It's a good time to really up the meditation, because Pisces absorbs so much. They are psychic sponges, and we have a lot of planets in Pisces. As of Tuesday, Mars, the action planet, moves into Pisces. So we're going to have Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars in Pisces. We are in a Pisces stellium. Again, for the action planet to be in Pisces, not ideal, because it's co-ruled by Aries and Scorpio. So if any of you are Aries or Scorpio, Mars is ruled by those two sun signs. They co-rule Mars. Pisces can be in the Mars, a little passive aggressive, not definitive. You know, should I do it? Should I not do it? Needs a push at times. So we're going to also Tuesday be moving into that. And that is all swirls together with that full moon eclipse. Now, depending where you are in the world, for example, I'm on the East Coast. So Tuesday morning for about 24 minutes, if there's not cloud coverage, I'll be able to see the eclipse. If you're interested in seeing eclipses, lunar eclipses, you don't need glasses. It's the solar that you need the special glasses to look. So look in your part of the world. Kenosha, Wisconsin is what? An hour or two behind East Coast time. So if it's then 6 a.m., you probably have a better chance in Kenosha of seeing the full eclipse. So if you're into that, it's an opportunity to see, you know, that blood red orange eclipse with that. Okay, so I'm just looking over. I talked about how the moon's in Gemini. It's moving into Cancer tomorrow. By the weekend, it's in Leo. That full moon on Tuesday is Virgo. So you want to also watch Monday into Tuesday with not being too nitpicking, critical, analytical, maybe even beating yourself up, being, you know, your worst critic, because Virgo moon can be very hard on the self because the moon rules emotions and astrology assigns a part, you know, of the body. Pisces rules the feet. Virgo rules the solar plexus chakra area. So just pay attention what is going on those days next week, because when I have the next live, which will be next Wednesday, it's the day after the full moon eclipse. And I will talk about Mars Pisces. I will talk post-eclipse. I have a paranormal investigation this weekend. Those of you that are interested in the paranormal, I will most likely film a video to upload. How did the investigation go? What did I see? What with the equipment did we get answers on? Did we get audio with that? So I do, as you see, upload a lot of ghost story videos because that has been the interest area. But if there are psychic related videos that you're interested in, astrology videos, psychic mediumship, please let me know because I will create that content. Right now, the demand for content from me are these ghost story videos. That's why I post weekly, quite a few of them. I believe that if you watched my Atlantic County Courthouse video, that I'll give you two with this. I have a ghost walk in Toms River, New Jersey. And what I've been doing with the lives is I'm giving a bit of a comparison. Courthouses, if you're interested in the paranormal, courthouses are often haunted. And you say, well, why is that? Right? When you go to court for something, it's usually not positive. And if you listen to the Atlantic County Courthouse video, which is in Mays Landing, you know, these apparitions that employees have seen, the reason they're there is not because it was a happy court hearing. And the Toms River Ghost Walk that I have, that is the meeting spot, the Ocean County Courthouse. I've talked with the secretary. I've talked with a clerk. They have stories. The secretary at the Ocean County Courthouse was telling me when they were redecorating that the handles on the drawers would rattle, right, on their own. No earthquake of the sort, any of that, right, when you try to tangibly debunk. And I explained to her, I said, a lot of times, however you want to call these, ghosts, apparitions, invisible form, souls, they don't like when you redecorate. 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10. I do have one video that I haven't uploaded where she does like the ghost that they redecorate. This is really rare in these instances. The secretary was telling me how the doorbell would ring, nobody's there. Another time, one of the sheriffs was on night watch and he saw a man so vividly with a red suit jacket time period, because also too, when the courthouse in Toms River, New Jersey was established, it's this time of the Civil War in the United States. And he saw this man so vividly that he took his gun out of his holster, and then the man just dematerialized and he was spooked. There was a jail there with the courthouse, not an active jail today. There was a mysterious fire back, I believe, in the 1990s. The previous secretary kept all these records of all the paranormal activity that they experienced. As I had this tour up and ghost walk up and running, I went in the courthouse to see if I could get more information. And I had a flyer and I gave it to the clerk. And, you know, it also had my background, my credentials too, academically. And she said, well, let me ask the judge if I have permission to talk to you. And the judge was in chamber, not on a case. And when she came back, she said, he told me to tell you everything. Because why is a judge going to be cautious? Because, and I'll say this, I know having taught at the university so many years, you have those people that dismiss you, you're crazy, you know, it doesn't exist, you're making it up. But I was saying this the other night on another live, when you have an experience, that's how you know it's real. When you have a paranormal experience, you see, you hear, you smell something, that's how you know this is real. And there are some people that are open-minded and they haven't had an experience and they get it. When it happens directly to you, you know this isn't just all tall tales and fantasy. So we have an investigation. I have never been to these houses. These are historic houses here in New Jersey. As I was saying in the lives, I'm vacillating between getting information about the houses. I keep going back and forth. Do I want to really know much more? I know very little right now. Do I just want to see what we get in at the time of the investigation? I would like to, after we wrap up the investigation at the houses, I'd like to, I just dropped my notebook. I would like to create a video to upload here about the investigation. I am working on having more investigations. We're working on Las Vegas for next month. Hopefully April, I can line up another investigation. And that's what too, you don't get to see it so much here on YouTube, but people share in the comments their experiences with apparitions and spirits and all of those type of things. Today, I was filming in Moorestown, a couple videos. I may upload one of those videos tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm planning to film in Trenton, New Jersey. There's a lot of ghost stories there. That is our state's capital here in New Jersey. Next week, I'm planning to film in Atlantic City. I've been getting asked to film more Atlantic City videos. Also too, in Trenton, there is a psychiatric hospital. And on social media, when I've done research, I've found that people want paranormal hospital videos. So that is one of the reasons why I'm filming in Trenton tomorrow. So I'll go into this too, and I think at times this is confusing. I know I got asked this with the man shop video. You know, if you've looked at my page, the man shop, and it wasn't here on YouTube, but a woman that actually knew the woman that video is about. In the video, I have her name is Marge. because that's what I was told initially by a local. Well, through social media, someone that knew her, the owner's wife, explained that this ghost is not Marge. Her name is Martha, and this is where this gets tricky. This is the spirit of Martha. So that video, the name is Martha, not Marge. And what I found out from a former customer, so back in 2019, it was a lingerie shop. Now it's the man shop today. And the woman was in the middle of a divorce. She was from another country. She went to go mail a package. She went to go turn left. She had the right of way, and a car came careening down the road, and unfortunately, she didn't survive. So what also too, what's beautiful about that is we got to learn Martha's story. So then the video becomes a tribute to Martha. Just like if you've seen my Point Pleasant video, it's a tribute to Richie. My Marlborough Psychiatric Hospital video is a tribute to those former patients. That too, that, you know, trying also this delicate balance. I didn't post this video that I posted on one of the social media today, but you know, that is firmly a ghost story. So I'll go into this, right? It can be really confusing in the paranormal and the psychic. I had the woman that was the former customer of that woman with the man shop, and that, you know, too, that then we were able to learn about Martha's story, and then, you know, pay tribute to her with that video. Is it can be very confusing. What's the difference between a ghost and a spirit? So a ghost, right? So a lot of these videos focus on ghost stories. A ghost is someone that hasn't evolved. They stay in a certain area because there could have been a traumatic event and they're trying to figure it out. They haven't moved on. They're stuck. And I'll say this, not all ghosts are malevolent. There are friendly and protective ghosts. I haven't uploaded this video yet, but I have one from Cape May, New Jersey, where the ghost, she passed on the grounds. She's very protective of the drunk people in the bar. She doesn't want to see them fall, hurt, get injured. She's a loving ghost. So they're not all mean or malevolent. That is incorrect. And you can only help a ghost if they want your help. That's what's saying. When I go in and I do these investigations, and if it is a ghost that hasn't moved on, as a paranormal psychic medium, I ask, can I help you? Because if they want my help, I am willing to help them move on. Because I say this even during my ghost walk, we can still tell their stories, you know, but we want to see them moved on to the spirit world. But you know this with paranormal, there are lots of apparitions all over the world. People have stories. You see this with haunted castles, for example, a lot of times very haunted. When you get to places that have hundreds, if not thousands of years of history, a lot of times there's activity. You know, I talk, not just my own experiences, but I talk with the maintenance people. I talk with the security guards. I talk with the employees, the bartender, and these people have stories, and they have specific stories. So a ghost is someone that has a soul that hasn't evolved. So a ghost has a soul, just like in the spirit world, we have a soul. The difference is that souls in the spirit world have evolved and are evolving. It is a higher dimension. Here on the earth plane, it is a lower dimension and frequency here. According to theoretical physics, there are 11 dimensions. And when people ask this, yes, negative entities and of the such are in lower dimensions. They are not in higher dimensions because they reject the light. So souls in the spirit world embrace the light, because the God energy is the white light. And also the white light of the Holy Spirit. That is God. And there's no gender when I say God. God is gender neutral. That's us here on earth assigning gender to God. God is transcendent of gender, but it's here that we need these classifications to put ourselves at ease. With this. So we're moving into, just popped part of the pen, one of those nights. We're moving into March. Again, this is a year one. It's new beginnings. Mercury retrograde too. I'm going to say this. People from the past often return. And when Mercury has gone direct on the 20th, right around the equinox, and circle your calendar for the 20th, because as we get closer to that, probably the March 18th live, I'm definitely going to hone in on that. That is a day to watch. I've been saying this the last couple weeks now. People from the past come back once it goes direct and into April. Do you reignite that friendship? Let's say a lover or an ex from the past comes back. Do you become a couple again? You want to really try not to make that decision during the retrograde. You want to wait, or even April. Hi, Clarence. Good evening. Where are you tuning in from? So that is something also to watch, to take note of. Canada. Okay, very good. Canada. Are you near Toronto? Because I'm teaching workshops a couple hours. It's in the United States, a couple hours south of Toronto. About 2 hours. You're in Montreal. Okay, so you're about 6 hours from me. Very good. You speak French and English? So I was just talking about Mercury retrograde, and what I'm asking everyone is, with this live, what are you interested in? Are you interested? Hi, Nettie. Good evening. Where are you tuning in from? Let us know. The Clarence, you can tell me, that if you read the description, the topics that I discuss in these lives are astrology. And that's why a lot of times I start off with the astrological weather as we're closing out the month. I talk about videos that I've uploaded if they require further clarification or explanation, or if you have a question about any of the videos. A live is a great time to ask those questions. Topics, so it's astrology, paranormal. What is paranormal activity? Ghosts, ghost stories. Psychic in the context of a message is predictive. But when you see a spirit or a ghost, that is a psychic experience. Psychic mediumship is messages from relatives, loved ones, and pets. Paranormal psychic mediumship is the ability to see and communicate with ghosts, and also that genre, in addition to ghosts that are in that realm, that is paranormal psychic mediumship. And obviously too, spirituality, as you see this when I talk about how God is the white light. It is a white light of energy. It is transcendent. God is transcendent of gender. That is man-made, assigning gender to God. So that's a run through of the astrology for the week. That's what I'm saying. Let me know. Are you interested in paranormal investigations? I'm not completely sure. I do readings. Yes, one-on-one appointments. I do. I have my website, www.epsychomediastrologer.com. Check out my website. My website person should be adding more blogs. Now, I'll say this with here. Yes, I do readings, and I've been taking appointments for 30 years. I perform live shows. I'm not performing at the moment psychic and spirit message shows. You're typing, right, as if a text. When I do readings, at the least, I hear your voice. I don't ask you for names and all of that of people. But at the least I'm hearing your voice or I'm seeing your face, because that's how I tune in to your frequency. Yes, if you watch some of the other lives on here, Zachary, you'll see that I've done a reading. So you get a sample, an idea of how I work, from astrology to psychic mediumship, too. So check out the other lives. I do readings, and that is www.eleni psychicmediumastrologer.com. And in the readings, I don't know what I get. I don't know what I'm going to get until the appointment starts most of the time. I meditate before the appointment. It's a mix of astrology. Could be sometimes some of my clients like psychic. They don't want the mediumship. And then some people just want a mediumship reading and they don't want the psychic, or, they want, to see a relative that comes through and what the relative has to say. So in that sense, if beforehand, it is ideal to tell me, because then I just talk and what I get in, too. So, and also the psychic astrology for me, looking at your wheel, it's a conduit psychically. I may have a vision. I may then with mediumship, somebody comes through, but it gives me something to sink into, where right now you see me, I don't see you. So that is not ideal. That's why when you type into, I don't take text message questions, like, how some of them for $50, they'll answer a question. I'm not saying I don't offer that on my website, that they'll, text them a question. Hey, maybe some of them are accurate and God bless. That's not how I work. That's saying. So, I need to at the least hear a voice, because that's vibration and frequency, and or see your face. Because sometimes people ask, like, what's coming up for someone outside of themselves. When you book an appointment, you are the focus. What's coming up for you? And then it's, it's more complicated when you're asking someone around you, unless it's your kid and they're going through something and what's the path. I'm just saying as an example too. So yeah, check out my other lives, because I have done that other weeks too. You get to see my style and how I work, because that's the thing too. Anytime you get a reading, you have to see if the reader is a fit for you. Just like with the mediumship, and you don't hear mediums talk about this, your loved ones have to decide that they want to talk to me to provide you with messages. I may not be your loved one's cup of tea in spirit, and that's okay. Just like here, we're drawn to certain people, and we're not drawn to certain people. They have to want to talk to the medium, or that's just in my experience how it works. So I'll say this, because I am going to keep tonight a shorter night, because I have with the investigation this weekend, and I do have lives that I'm doing this weekend. That's what I'm saying. This is one of my social media that I'm still figuring out what you want. I have with certain people, it's astrology, it's psychic, it's mediumship, but the demand has been for my ghost story videos. So I am trying to figure out here what you want. It's still a bit uncertain to me. I do see that the ghost videos, for the most part, get the most views. But definitely check out my other lives, see how my style works, because I have them in a couple of the previous lives. So I'll say this, the next live is going to be Wednesday, March 4th. Let me just 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Montreal, I believe you're on the same time zone. Kenosha, Wisconsin, you are an hour or two behind East Coast time. That is, so Wednesday, March 4th, 7:30 p.m. is the next live. And yes, you can type in questions into the comments. But I am going to make tonight a short night because this week is very intense and hectic for me. I was filming earlier today videos that you'll eventually get to see on the channel. I am filming tomorrow more videos. I have the investigation Saturday. I have another live on Sunday. So tune back in Wednesday, March 4th, 7:30 p.m. for the next Psychic Paranormal live. Go with the flow with the full moon and the eclipse. And I'll say this, remember that spirit lives on in you. I will see you next week, March 4th. I will have the reminder on my channel. Have a great weekend, full moon eclipse week, and always stay connected to spirit. Good night.